Hi, how you doing? I'm Gary from Going Primal and I'm here to talk to you today about mobility. Now this is a flash word that's been going around the industry now, the personal training industry, for the last 2 years or so. And it's getting the ball moving, it's getting quite popular. So let's understand what mobility actually is. Now mobility is the ability for the body to move freely through a range of motion at a joint whilst the body being in control of that movement. So what does that actually mean? That's just a lot of words that me thrown at you here. What does it actually mean? Well, you think a range of motion. So your shoulder has a range of motion through different areas. It's designed to move in all of these areas. There's no question about that. It is designed to move three-dimensionally. I'll come back to that in a second, but it's designed to move. We want it to move to the full range of motion it can possibly reach. We want it to be the full range of motion. You want it to be controlled, so you want the body to be in control of it, and you want it to be pain-free. Pain-free is the key. Our bodies can do things with pain. We can go through pain. We're designed as a human being to be able to deal with pain, but it doesn't mean we should be accepting pain. So we want mobility to be free of pain, full range of motion, whilst in control of that movement. Now, let's talk about range of motion. Our range of motion should be in 3 planes of motion. So 3 planes of motion, it's simple as we move forwards and back, walking towards the camera, walking back, move my arm just like so. We also move side to side on what you call the frontal plane. So if my arm's going out here, it's on a different plane called the frontal plane. And we've got another one which is called the transverse plane, which is rotation. So we rotate through an axis, through our whole body on an axis, as you can see. So these 3 planes of motion are very important because every part of the body, including the knees, including the elbows, where you reckon there's only 1 plane of motion, every part of the body can move in 3 planes of motion. For instance, if I look at my elbow, I can turn my wrist through my elbow. That's the transverse plane. Yet we get taught that that's a hinge joint that can only move in the sagittal plane. We now know that it can move more than 1 plane of motion. So what we currently try and do, we want the body to move in all 3 of these planes without pain and again in control. So somebody who's got a nice niggle in the knee, we can maybe find some lack of motion or lack of mobility in one of these joints. Now improving that mobility may or may not improve the injury, but hopefully it would go on the way to improving pain. So why do we need mobility? Well, we need mobility so we can allow the body to do what it needs to do. Now, again, I've spoke about what the body will do what it needs to do, but it might not be doing it the way it's designed to do it. So if you're going to kick a football, you're wanting to move it through the hip, you're looking for the body to open up before you strike the ball and come through. If your body can't do that, you're not going to get the same amount of power through that ball. You're not going to get the ball accurately like you're designed to do. But even just looking at everyday life, you're down here to pick up a baby. If you can't rotate your back, your thoracic spine, you might be working through your lumbar spine. So you try and turn through here and you can't do it, you'll still pick up your baby because that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to achieve that, but you might do it and cause injury to your lower back because your upper back isn't doing its job. What I'm trying to say here is if you don't have mobility in a part of the body that's meant to move, another part of the body is going to take that pain. That other part of the body is going to do that initial body part's job. So if you're looking for, I'm going to go back to the thoracic again. This here can rotate. We can rotate through our thoracic, no question about it. But if we're limited here, we'll end up rotating through our lower back and pelvis, which will create back pain. Because the body always tries to find the path of the least resistance. So the body always finds a way of doing the task designed, but it will do the way it's designed. It will do the way that it feels comfortable doing it, which might not necessarily be the right way. So the body compensates. It's a bit like an assembly line. If the guy next to you is off work one day, and you have to do his job as well on an assembly line, and you start getting slower and slower at it, it's going to start building up and building up until all of a sudden you're not able to do two people's jobs in one day. And that's exactly how our body works. So let's just summarise here a little bit. What is mobility and how do we improve it? So mobility is the ability for the body to move freely through a range of motion whilst the body's been in control of that motion. It's in 3 planes. We can move sagittally, frontal plane and on the transverse plane. The body will compensate if it can't move in another part of the body, so we need to be able to move in all parts of the body in all 3 planes. And just to train that, we want to just take our body into the position we know it's meant to be in and just walk through the positions nice and smoothly to increase mobility. Thanks for listening. Any questions, you can hit us up on an email on the website.